One of the things I love most about Studio Ghibli films is their remarkable versatility, captivating audiences of all ages and backgrounds. These masterpieces effortlessly traverse various genres, seamlessly blending elements of fantasy, adventure, drama, and even romance. From the whimsical and enchanting worlds of Spirited Away and My Neighbor Totoro to the emotionally resonant narratives of Grave of the Fireflies and Only Yesterday, Studio Ghibli films excel in delivering profound storytelling that transcends cultural boundaries. The studio's distinct artistic style, meticulous attention to detail, and nuanced character development gives these stories range and ensures that each film has a unique and deeply personal impact on viewers. Whether it's exploring themes of environmentalism, coming of age, or the power of human connection, Studio Ghibli films continue to enchant and inspire audiences worldwide, making them an enduring testament to the boundless creativity and universal appeal of animated storytelling. After announcing retirement in 2013 and then changing his mind, Hayao Miyazaki and his collaborators at Studio Ghibli started working on the film How Do You Live, set to premiere this week on July 14. And while I'm sad that it won't be released internationally for a good while, today I wanted to rank Studio Ghibli films. Yes, a handful of people on YouTube have done their own rankings, but I also wanted to add my own opinions. Also, yes, I meant to make this video earlier, but I literally broke my foot. Okay, that's a lie. I sprained my foot. With every video I make, there's a new horrible thing that's happened to me, and honestly, I wish I were making things up, but unfortunately I'm not. I am once again living but not laughing or loving, so let's heal with some Studio Ghibli. For the tiers, I went a bit dramatic this time with the top tier. So the top tier is Inject This Into My Veins. I think I'm transcending depression. Gone, which is for the Studio Ghibli films that are my ultimate favorites. If they're not your favorites, you're just going to have to agree to disagree with me. Next is Show-Stopping Brilliant, which is for the Studio Ghibli films that are really, really good, but they're just not my favorites. I will say that the difference between the first tier and the second tier is marginal. I find all the movies in both tiers really, really good. It's just a matter of whether they're my favorites or not. Then in the middle is just really cute. This is for the ones that I enjoy. They're definitely not bad. They're obviously very cute and comforting, but they didn't really stand out to me otherwise. Next is I Can Appreciate It, which means that there are some good parts and good elements that I see in these movies, but it just wasn't for me, or I just don't love it overall that much. Second to last is I Won't Be Watching It Again, which means for whatever reason, once is enough. No more. I'm good. And then at the very bottom is this tier specifically for Earwig and the Witch. No explanation needed. And so I just have to get Earwig and the Witch out of the way and put it at the bottom because what is that? It's about a young girl named Earwig. To say that Goro Miyazaki fumbled the bag would be an understatement. Like, I feel bad for him, I do. I just don't understand how you could put this out into the world. Like, every character looks like a villain in Toy Story. Aesthetics aside, I have nothing good to say about this movie, so we're gonna put this at the very bottom. The next movie is Pompoko, which is definitely Studio Ghibli's strangest movie, and it's the one that I haven't heard people talk about as much. I deeply discourage you from watching this one if you are afraid of raccoons. It's about shape-shifting raccoons who unite to save their habitat from human encroachment by using their supernatural powers. I never thought I'd watch a movie where raccoons inflate themselves to attack humans because of species inequity, but here we are. It's incredibly chaotic, peppered with side plots, and I just won't be watching it again. Next movie is Kiki's Delivery Service, and y'all know this is one of my ultimate comfort films, and I've watched it like a million times. It follows a young witch named Kiki who uses her flying abilities to establish a delivery service and also recover from burnout and establish her own identity. It's a movie that really holds significant meaning to me because I think it beautifully captures the essence of adolescence and transition into adulthood. The film explores self-discovery, independence, and the pursuit of one's dreams, and it reminds us all of the importance to embrace our own unique qualities and persevere through challenges. And I think the film also inspires you to have faith in your own abilities and to embrace your passions and to navigate your life of uncertainties with courage and determination. It also makes me want to go frolic through Europe, so it's going to go in the top tier. Next is Whisper of the Heart. I kept this movie off for a while. Like, I watched it for the first time maybe 2.5 years ago. Tell me why I didn't know that The Cat Returns was a spin-off of this movie until I watched this movie. When I first watched this, I was watching it with one of my best friends, and when Country Roads Take Me Home first came on, we both were thrown off. Because, like, I'm American, I knew this song, but I thought this song was, like, the anthem of West Virginia, which is, like, over 90% white. I never thought that the song would have anything to do with a Japanese piece of media, but it does, and it actually holds some great significance in the movie. In all seriousness though, this movie is so magical and whimsical. It's a heartfelt coming-of-age film that follows a young girl named Shizuku as she embarks on a journey of creativity and first love, ultimately finding her own voice and pursuing her dreams. It sounds kind of similar to Kiki's Delivery Service, but the two movies have very different charms. Kiki's is cute and comforting, but Whisper of the Heart is heartfelt and just hits you emotionally in a different way. I think this one is underappreciated because I haven't heard as many people talk about this one. I will say though, it's not one of my favorites, and I can't really pinpoint why. I think maybe I just didn't watch it for the first time at the right time in my life. That being said, it's incredible, so it's gonna go on the second tier. Now we have From Up on Poppy Hill, which is a crime that Goro Miyazaki did not commit. The movie is set in 1960s Yokohama, where two high school students navigate friendship and love and preserving their high school clubhouse amidst a changing world. Listen, there's one thing that kept me from really enjoying this movie, and if you've watched it, you know what I'm talking about. The way they made us think that they were including incest for a good chunk of this movie. That was a choice. Thank God it wasn't for real. Aside from that, the movie is cute and fun, and I get why people like it, but to be honest, when I watched it and I finished it, I kind of thought, okay, this is fine. Nothing made me particularly love it, so I'm gonna put it in I can appreciate it. Now we have The Cat Returns. This was the first Studio Ghibli movie I had ever watched, interestingly enough, and it's literally because I like cats. Men will disappoint you, but cats are forever. The Cat Returns is kind of a spin-off of Whisper of the Heart. In Whisper of the Heart, Shizuku is a writer and she creates this fantasy story about the Baron looking for his lost love, and The Cat Returns is about a young girl named Haru being whisked away into a magical cat realm where the Baron is also a character. It's a simple, fun movie. I wouldn't say that I loved it all that much, so I'm gonna put it in I can appreciate it. Next is Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, and this is the first Studio Ghibli movie, and it's also the second full-length feature film that Miyazaki had ever both written and directed, which is insane. It's about how in a world devastated by ecological catastrophe, Princess Nausicaa tries to bring about peace and understanding between warring factions while navigating the complex relationship between humanity and the environment. The characters and themes in this movie are so good. Nausicaa is the girl boss. The movie also explores environmentalism, as do some other Studio Ghibli movies. Nausicaa has to confront the consequences of human greed and the destructive power of war. While it's not one of my favorites, it's really good, so it deserves to go under show-stopping brilliant. Next is My Neighbor Totoro. This movie is so cute, so happy. If you just need something to help you pick yourself up by the bootstraps, just watch this. You can't dislike My Neighbor Totoro. I mean, you can, I'm just gonna think that you hate joy. There isn't anything that particularly stands out to me or really wows me about My Neighbor Totoro though. It's just really cute, so it deserves to go under it's just really cute. Next is Only Yesterday, and I truly feel like you either love this movie or you really don't. It has the coming of age slice of life essence, but it's just like really slow and hard to get into. I kind of understood it and appreciated it more on my second attempt watching it though, but ultimately the pacing felt really off and some scenes were just way too long. Like there's this one scene that felt like 10 minutes long about slicing pineapples, and I don't know what I got from that scene. I just remember thinking, oh, okay, they're just eating a pineapple that's not ripe. It's not really bad in my opinion, so I'm going to put it in I can appreciate it. Next is a Studio Ghibli movie that I think is really underappreciated, and that is When Marnie Was There. It's an emotional story about a young girl named Anna who, while spending the summer in a seaside town, befriends a mysterious girl named Marnie, and they uncover secrets that bind their lives in some unexpected ways. I will say it kind of baited me into thinking that there would be a gay romance, but there is a huge plot twist that actually stabbed me in the heart, and if that doesn't convince you to watch it, I don't know what will. Jokes aside, the way the movie portrays depression is really relatable, and personally I don't mind the twist, although I completely understand anyone who feels baited by it. It is a beautiful story, it's visually stunning, it's engaging, it's emotional, and it became one of my favorites, so I'm gonna put it at the top. Next is The Secret World of Arrietty, which is based on the story The Borrowers. This movie is super cute and comforting, and I really do appreciate it for how simple and sweet it is. I so desperately want to live the life of Nia the cat. Also, this is really random, but I just recently learned that Tom Holland voiced Sean in the UK dub of this movie. Anyway, this movie is just really cute. It has good comfort value, but it didn't blow me away. Now we have Princess Mononoke, which is an incredible movie. Honestly, I think even considering comfort value as a factor, I would say that Princess Mononoke is probably gonna take the top spot as my favorite Studio Ghibli movie ever. It's not dramatic to say that this altered my brain chemistry. Also, this movie soundtrack was the first Ghibli movie soundtrack to ever move me to tears. This movie stands out to me for its ambitious and epic storytelling. Princess Mononoke is widely regarded as one of Hayao Miyazaki's most mature and thematically rich films. It explores environmentalism and the delicate balance between humans and nature, and Miyazaki's portrayal of the conflict between industrialization and the preservation of the natural world raises a lot of good questions about humanity's relationship with the environment, and it offers some really good commentary on the consequences of our actions, and it doesn't shy away from depicting the harsh realities of conflict either, and I think the maturity of its violence adds a layer of realism and emotional weight to the story. The attention to detail and the hand-drawn visuals is incredible, depicting lush landscapes, majestic creatures, and just very intricately designed characters. I also love it for its nuanced and complex characters. The protagonist Ashitaka and San are fiercely independent and determined characters. The supporting characters too, like Lady Eboshi, just adds layers of depth to the narrative, which creates a really rich story. That was really just my persuasive TED Talk, but yeah, this is going on the top tier. And next is Tales from Earthsea, from the mind of Goro Miyazaki, the second worst Studio Ghibli film. I heard that it was inspired by Ursula Le Guin's Earthsea books, but it was also inspired by one of Miyazaki's manga series. It follows a young, troubled prince and a wizard, and they're going on this journey to restore balance to their land, and it's just really bad. Like, Ursula Le Guin herself was like, I'm disappointed. The characters aren't good, the world building isn't good, the overall plot/story is not good, and the animation did not really stand out all that much to me, so I won't be watching this again. Next is Howl's Moving Castle, the birth of every hot girl's I Can Fix Him delusional era. Howl being one of the most iconic Studio Ghibli boyfriends aside, this is a fun movie. I'm going to admit that I'm completely biased because this was one of the first Ghibli movies I had ever watched. I know a lot of people don't think Howl's Moving Castle is especially amazing, but I love it. It gives me so much joy and nostalgia, and I love Sophie, so it's just gonna go at the top. Then we have Grave of the Fireflies, which absolutely wrecked my soul and destroyed me. I had to sit in silence after watching this movie because it was just so devastating. Look, this movie is really good for sure. I recommend going into it without knowing anything for the full emotional experience. And even though this is for reasons that's completely different from the other movies in this category, I just have to put it in I won't be watching it again because I seriously cannot experience this again. The next movie is The Tale of Princess Kaguya, and this movie is so good, but also made me incredibly sad. It's an enchanting story of a mystical princess who struggles between her celestial origins and her desire for freedom and love in the mortal world. I watched this for the first time fairly recently, and I think it is one of Studio Ghibli's strongest films. It will have you going through all the stages of grief 9 times per minute. It also has a very different, unique, beautiful animation style, and it pains me that it lost to Big Hero 6 at the Oscars. That being said, it's incredible, not one of my favorites, but incredible and deserves more recognition, so it goes in show-stopping brilliant. Next is Ocean Waves, which is very forgettable in my opinion. It's so boring, and that's all you need to know, and I don't have much to say about it, I just won't be watching it again. Next is Spirited Away, which is obviously one of the best Studio Ghibli films, as it is Miss Academy Award-winning girly, and it comes very close to being my favorite Studio Ghibli film. Spirited Away is regarded as a masterpiece by many because it does everything that Studio Ghibli has always done well, and it just makes it exceptional. Hayao Miyazaki crafts a magical world and takes us on a transformative journey with the main protagonist, Chihiro. Its visually stunning animation and narrative makes it a timeless masterpiece that has touched so many people worldwide. It's almost impossible to hate, and in fact, if you don't like this movie, I don't like you. And there just isn't a way for me to put Miyazaki's magnum opus in anywhere but the top tier. Next is The Wind Rises, which is a story that broke my fragile little heart. It's a really well-made movie and a heartbreaking story. That being said, I can understand why people don't like this movie because I feel like it can easily bore people, and also if you just don't care about airplanes at all, it'll probably feel very slow to you. But I love it for what it says about dreams and passions and ethical dilemmas that arise when your passion becomes entangled with the destructive potential of your creations. It addresses complex questions without offering easy answers, which allows you as the audience to engage in introspection and also wrestle with the moral ambiguity that's presented. Also, I haven't actually watched many video essays about Studio Ghibli on YouTube, as surprising as that is considering I love it so much, but I did watch this one video essay on the soundscape soundscape of Studio Ghibli movies, where it also talks about the soundscape in this movie in particular, and it really made me appreciate the sound engineers of this movie a lot more. So for me, there's much to love about this movie, but it's not one of my favorites, so I'm gonna put this in the second tier. Then we have Ponyo, which is so cute. Like, I wish I watched it as a kid. It follows the magical journey of a fish named Ponyo who longs to become human and a young boy who forms a bond with her. There's not a whole lot that I can say about this movie. It's just really cute, and it's something that like I would introduce to a little kid first in order to get them into Studio Ghibli movies. So I'm gonna put this in. It's just really cute. Then we have Porco Rosso, which tells the story of a World War I fighter pilot who is also a pig, and he navigates adventures, romance, and redemption. I will say it's a unique Studio Ghibli film, but it's just not my cup of tea. I think it's solid storytelling. It was not bad like Tales from Earthsea by any means, but it also just wasn't for me, so I'm gonna put this in I can appreciate it. Second to last is Castle in the Sky, another great Studio Ghibli movie. It's about a girl named Shida and a boy named Patsu who go on an adventure to find the mythical floating city of Laputa while being pursued by these forces seeking its power. The pacing and tone is done really well. I love the relationship between Patsu and Shida, and I also just love the characters overall. The sound design in this movie also really stands out to me, and I'm going to try to find that video essay and link it below because it uses Castle in the Sky as an example and compares the sub version to the English dub version to show how the meticulous sound design choices really enhance the world building and the immersive experience as a viewer. So again, there's so much to love and appreciate about Castle in the Sky, but it wasn't one of my favorites, so it's gonna go in show-stopping brilliant. Lastly is My Neighbors the Yamadas, which is a slice of life movie about the Yamada family. I feel like if there's anything people say about this one, it's the fact that it has a very interesting animation style that's very comic book, comic strip-like. Turns out it's based on a manga, and the style is pretty much the exact same as the manga style, so that's why. I didn't really like this movie though. I feel like it didn't really pull me in, and I just wouldn't watch it again, so I'm gonna put this in the second to last tier. And that's my ranking of the Studio Ghibli films. There are so many masterpieces and beautiful films that this studio has given us. I'm so excited to eventually see How Do You Live and see where I would put it in this ranking. But yeah, let me know where you would put these movies and what your favorites are, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already.